Hello, so I'm just off to the Nissan garage to see how much they'll give me for the Leaf. Let's go. Oh God, I hadn't done the foot brake. It's strange being in the Leaf again because I've not driven it since the Niro, so I've not driven this for about a month. And first impressions are, well, it feels more luxurious inside. That's the first thing. I mean, the seats and everything. I've got this is the top spec Leaf for the time, so this is the Tecna. I mean, it's a much nicer steering wheel. Obviously, the display. Oh God, it's so dusty, isn't it? The display is, quite basic, although it works nicely. All these controls, I much prefer to the Niro. I get a little bit overwhelmed with the Kia's buttons, but then of course it does more. It's also it is quite a lot lower down. Certainly feels a lot lower down than the Niro, so it's interesting. Putting it into gear, I prefer this paddle thing. The thing for the Leaf. I think that's a nicer way of doing it. It all feels more fluid. Okay, and here's the front-facing camera, which I absolutely love, and the kind of 360-degree view. You see, because I haven't parked brilliantly there. You see, so what I would do, is if I'm about to go in reverse, I would just be able to straighten up a little bit in the parking space. Like that. See, and I would use that 360-degree view. I shouldn't call it 360 because it really isn't, is it? But I would use that a lot. So I really miss that in the Niro. But yeah, it's strange being in the old Leaf. It's strange getting rid of it. I still feel an emotional attachment to it. But we'll see what they offer me. As I've said before, Tesla is currently the top amount that a dealer has offered, although that was part exchange, but that was $9,750. So, and I bought this for about 10,000 something, 10,250, I think. So we'll see. We'll see what they offer. So one of the interesting things is that all this time I've felt like the Niro was less fun to drive than the Leaf. And admittedly, I've left home and I've just kind of gone around 2 corners so far. But actually, the Leaf doesn't hug the road quite as much as I thought it did, which is an interesting thing. So I would say it feels smoother, but actually the Kia's, despite being a bigger, taller car, the Kia kind of grabs the road a little bit more, I think. It's unfortunate I'm not gonna have an opportunity to go on any fast roads now because the garage is all 30-mile-an-hour roads. But it's a strange one. I've got mixed feelings. The Leaf is, as I say, it just feels a bit more luxurious, I suppose, in terms of interior. Also, the other thing that I'd completely forgotten really was just how, you see, in the Niro, I would have just gone for it, but not there. Yeah, I mean, eco mode in the Leaf, it's got so little power. The drive of the Niro is one of the things I've been kind of, I suppose, least satisfied with, thinking that the Leaf was better, when actually I don't think it is. It's well, in some ways. So the Leaf is smoother. I think it feels more refined. With the regen set to a sort of high amount on the Niro, what happens is that when you from a still position, it feels a little bit juddery. It feels a bit jerky when you're accelerating. Almost like it goes up to a point and then it suddenly kind of delivers a bit too much power all of a sudden, only very subtly, but it doesn't feel very smooth, whereas this does feel very, very smooth. If you take your foot off the accelerator and it just goes nicely slower, then you put the foot down again on the accelerator, it goes nicely. It goes nicely faster. There's no jerking, no juddering. It's just a smoother, more refined experience. And it could just be that the Niro's got so much power. I don't know what it is. This is where you need someone who actually understands cars. The Leaf is smooth, but it doesn't hug the road as well as the Niro. One of my favourite cars that I've owned, because I've owned a lot, was a Punto, Fiat Punto Sporting, and it was in orange. I absolutely loved that car until I had there was a crazy neighbour. I had a crazy neighbour, and my girlfriend at the time listened to loud music and sung along in the shower. And after that, he covered my car in paint stripper and wrote it off, which was a damn shame. And I had a meeting on the morning that he did it, bastard. So I had to drive for like 4 hours on the motorway with the paint flying off. What was my point? My point was that I loved the Punto because it was a fun little small car, and that's how I thought the Leaf was. But yeah, it turns out it's not quite as fun as I thought it was. So it's a strange thing. It's strange how perceptions can change so easily when you get a different car. As I said, I've been, as much as I've been enjoying the Niro, I've always kind of had this feeling that it's just not as fun as the Leaf. Well, actually, it is. Perhaps not as refined in the way I described just now, but it is actually quite fun. Horrible tacky foot brake thing. Right, so let's just have one last look around the car. Well, it won't be the last look necessarily. It depends if I sell it now or not. There's the very dusty interior. Very dusty, dirty back. God, what the hell has my daughter put there? Good Lord. Yeah, it's been a very well used car, this. There's a crack in the front. So there it is, my Leaf. Okay, so they've offered me 9,600, and they wouldn't go any higher. So that's not as much as the Tesla were offering. But then Tesla hadn't actually seen the car. I don't know whether they would see it and then say, "Well, wait a minute, mate, your bumper's cracked." So my wife is saying, "Yeah, just go for it," because it's it's hassle selling privately. So I'll probably just go for it. So 9,600, but that's not too bad, is it? I've driven this over 18 months, I think now. Bought it 10,250, so we're only looking at £500 depreciation, which is pretty good, really. So yeah, I think I'll go for it. So this is goodbye to my Leaf, and it's very sad.